Hello, my name is Marlene Weisenbeck. I'm a Franciscan sister of Perpetual Adoration and the convener of the La Crosse Task Force to End Modern Slavery. As the second largest criminal activity in the world, we encounter human trafficking wherever we are, globally and locally. As you view these stories, I ask you to gaze upon the person. Consider the burden that she or he is carrying. Contemplate each situation, and then imitate others who are helping to move them out toward healing and wholeness. Gaze. Rest your eyes on what you see and hear. Experience this visual evidence of persons who are captured and terrorized through the strategies that brought them into the life of modern slavery. Though your eyes and thoughts may be drawn elsewhere, bring them back to the person that is the focus of each story. Consider. Allow your mind to study and understand the horrific situations that brought these individuals into their captivity. Consider the humiliation to which victims are submitted. Deepen your knowledge of the events that made them vulnerable to recruitment into this life. Do you sense a challenge or a call? Contemplate. Be present to what you see and hear. Listen with your inner senses to the meaning of the story. Listen to the cries of the enslaved without judgment. Then embrace an unceasing prayer for all those involved and all those who work to bring freedom to those in this underground economy of evil. Finally, imitate. All prayer moves us toward making efforts to create relationships of wholeness worthy of our God-given human dignity. Join in some way with others in bringing hope and freedom to the suffering world. Thank you.
Good morning, Laurie.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us this morning about your experience in sex trafficking. We're hoping that we can teach a lot of other women and educate the community about what sex trafficking really looks like, because we know there's a lot of misconceptions and misperceptions about the life. So maybe you can help enlighten us and let us know what it looked like from your perspective.
Okay.
So Laurie, can you tell me a little bit about your childhood? What did your childhood look like from your little eyes?
My childhood, I kind of felt like I didn't matter. When my brother molested me from the age of 3 to 5, and after I told my mom kind of went into a deep depression. And my older brother tried his best to take care of me, but when I was 9 years old, he went off to college and couldn't take me with him. And so that's kind of where I was left to fend for myself and figure out a way to survive. And my best friend's older sister was in the life, and it kind of seemed like it was normal, like it was a normal thing to do. And so I went along with it.
So how old were you about this time?
9 or 10.
9 or 10? And at that point, your mother had been severely depressed. Your brother had gone off to college. So there was nobody in your household that was looking after you, taking care of you. Was there a father in the picture?
No.
Okay, so your friend, sister, was in the life. Where did you grow up?
In Minneapolis.
Okay. So in your neighborhood, prostitution was normalized.
Yep.
You saw it. It wasn't unusual. You weren't shocked by it.
Nope.
Were there any key events in your childhood around that time, 9, 10 years old, that one event or that one situation that launched you into prostitution or a pimp? Did you have a pimp? Did you work for your friend's sister? Or how did that transpire?
Yeah, I worked for my friend's sister. She's the one who initially showed me how to be in the life, and she's the one who introduced me into knowing how to be in the life.
So did she also recruit your friend?
No, she didn't.
So she just used you.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember your first trick? What that was all about?
I do. I remember there being 3 men in the room, and I remember all 3 of them raped me, which I didn't think of it like, I didn't look at it like that then. I do now, but I didn't look at it like that then.
What do you mean?
What I mean by that, like I looked at it as a way to make the money to be able to survive. I didn't think of it as being raped at that time. I didn't think about it like that.
Okay. And so your first tricks, was that set up by your friend's sister?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Were you on Backpage, or were you on the streets, or?
I was on the street.
Okay, so she expected you to leave wherever it was you were staying and just walk the streets. Was this North Minneapolis?
South Minneapolis.
South Minneapolis?
Mm-hmm.
Was this around Lake Street,
Yep.
Bloomington?
Lake Street, Bloomington, Chicago, Franklin.
Okay, so as a little girl, 10 years old, 9, 10 years old, you were walking the streets of Chicago, Franklin, Bloomington.
Yep.
And under the,
She was out there walking with me most days.
okay. And was she there to protect you, or was she there to collect the money?
She was there to collect the money.
Mm-hmm. So, Laurie, during this period, you were a very little girl. You must have been very scared.
Mm-hmm.
And so you obviously were not in school.
Nope.
Were there other girls your age that were out there?
No, I don't think they were my age. They didn't appear to be my age.
They were probably a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At that point, did you feel trapped? Did you feel like there was no way to leave? Or did you feel that you didn't have any options because there was no place?
Like there was no option. There was no place for me to go. What else am I going to do?
Because you didn't have a home to go back to.
And I went to school sometimes. I didn't go to school as much as as other to 9, 10, 11-year-olds. I didn't go to school as much as them. But I went to school periodically.
And Laurie, so you were alone in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone ever bring up child protection or foster care?
They did. A couple times teachers would ask questions, and of course I would make something up. Like they came, because as far as they knew, I was still living in the house with my mother. So a couple of times they came to our house. But when they came to our house, I knew that if they came to our house and everything didn't look like it was okay, that they would take me away. And then where was I going to be? I already felt alone in the world. Now I'm going to really be alone in the world.
So you chose to, at that point, just stay on the streets and try to survive yourself.
Yep.
Okay. Let me ask you, Laurie, as far as the power and control of the lifestyle, what kept you lured into the lifestyle? What were some of the survival efforts or strategies that you used along with your perpetrators keeping you in the lifestyle?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, yeah, I kind of confused myself on that one, so let me start over. What, besides the fact of not having a home to go to, or having a family, did you have sisters or brothers?
I had those two brothers, but they are 7 and 9 years older than me.
Right. And then the one went off to college. So, you felt like you had no options.
Yep.
You really didn't have many options at that point in your life. So, what were some of the survival strategies that you had to use as a 10-year-old girl on the streets to get by, just to get through every day, honey? I know you had to gone through a lot. What did you do to keep your sanity?
Well, I was using a lot of drugs. I just kept telling myself that it'll get better at some point. When it will get better, I don't know, but at some point it'll get better.
So you just kept telling yourself, if I continue on this path, sooner or later things will get better. Did you have a subsequent pimp, or did you have another pimp after the sister?
I did.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
When I'd have been probably 12, I met a man, and I of course, being 12 years old, wanted someone to rescue me, which is what it seemed like he was going to do. He said he was going to help me, which is not what happened. But being 12 years old, I wanted to be rescued. And so I ended up moving in with this man and of course I was continuing in the life because that's how I met this man, being in the life.
So he allowed you to live with him, and then did he do back page ads or anything for you, or did he send you out? Or?
No, he sent me out. He would sit in his car while I went and got in several different cars.
Right, on Lake Street, and then wait till you got back.
Yep.
And then you'd climb in with him,
Yep.
do your crack, and then go out and do another trick.
Yep.
So that's what it looked like for many, many years.
Yep.
Laurie, what part of your story had the biggest impact on you, and what is something that you would like to tell others about prostitution and sexual exploitation?
What had the biggest impact on me? Feeling like I didn't have a choice. Feeling like this was what my life was meant for. Like this is all I'm ever going to be able to do. And what would I like to tell others?
What would you like
That
them
there
to
are
know?
other options. That there are other choices.
So you really feel that there is a way to get out of the life? And how would you counsel them? What would you say to them?
What would I say to them? That they're not alone. That other people have gone through what they're going through.
Very good. Well, Laurie, I just want to thank you so much for sharing today. I know this is hard, and we really appreciate gaining a better understanding of what prostitution looks like for so many people in our community. So thank you.